Hello guys, welcome to another session. In this session, we are going to look into list rendering. So let's jump into the Visual Studio Code to understand this concept. So in our earlier session, we have looked into how to render the JSX conditionally. So to understand that concept, we have designed the login component. Now to understand the list rendering, we are going to design a fruit ball component. So let's look into the example, what example we are going to cover in this session so that we will understand the list rendering concept in React. So in this session, we are going to design this fruit ball component, and what it will do, it will retrieve this JavaScript object, and that object contains name, price, in stock properties, and this object is an array of object that is nothing but a list. So our fruit ball component will retrieve all the prices and the names of the object fruit ball and display as a list. List rendering is one of the common feature in any of the web development, and in React it is one of the most commonly used feature which we generally use in all of the applications. So let's jump into the Visual Studio Code to start the implementation of this example. So as usual, the first step, we need to create a folder and then we need to create a file. So let's do it. So we will come here, select the component folder, click on the folder icon, give it a name fruit ball, and within that we are going to have a file called fruitball.js, and this file will contain our logic. So this is going to be a functional component, so I will tell that rfce, and this will give us the boilerplate code, and over here we need to specify the component structure. So let's create first the fruit ball object. So we need to write something like this, const, and over here we will tell that obj fruit ball equal to, it is an array of object, and within that we need to create object one by one. We will tell that name of the fruit I am going to keep apple, and over here we will keep another properties, that is price, and we will keep it 100 rupees, and then we will keep another properties called in stock, and then we will tell that true or false, whether it is available in stock or not. So over here we will specify the comma, and then we will copy this object and make 3 copies of it so that it will save our time. Put it over here. Let's change the name of this fruit orange, and over here we will tell that 200 rupees, and for this one grapes, and over here we will tell that 300 rupees. So we have created the object now. Now the next step is we need to create the JSX to retrieve the value of this object. So how we can do that? We are going to tell that we will use UL element, and this UL element contains the LI element. So let's write it, and over here we need to specify the name of the object which we are going to use it. As it is a JSX, so we need to specify, we are going to use the map function of the array object. If you are not aware about the map function, then I would suggest that you should refer my modern JavaScript course, that is a step-by-step mastering modern JavaScript, where I have covered the map function in detail. And along with the map function, I have covered all the feature of ES6 in detail, a step-by-step manner. But for a time being, you can understand that map is a function which we use generally to iterate the array and transform that array into some of the other meaningful array. So let's look into that. So how we are going to use it? Remove this one. This is going to be inside the map function. So we will tell that the object we are having is the obj fruit ball. So this fruit ball is having a map method. So we will write map, and within that we are going to pass an arrow function, and we will retrieve each of the fruit information over here that contains 3 properties, name, price, and in stock. So here we will tell that fruit, that means individual element we are going to retrieve, and that is an arrow function. This is working as a parameter, and within that function we are going to pass, and over here you should remember that you are going to use the parenthesis instead of braces, as it will not understand that what actually the braces is. So within that you should use the parenthesis. So enter, and now we will write the body of the function. So first what we will need to write, so as it is an UL element, so within that I want to generate the li tag, that is going to be the dynamic, and over here we need to specify that I am going to have a name of the fruit, and which is going to be a h3 type. So let's write it h3, and within the h3 we will retrieve the name of the fruit. If you will go there in our diagram, then this is the format we are having. So let's do it now. So let's write it over here, fruit dot name, and then there is hyphen, so let's mention the hyphen over here, and then we need to specify the price, fruit dot price. So this way we have created the li elements. Let's save it. So now we have created the fruit ball object, which is doing the listing of all the fruits with their prices. So now next step, we have to also include the h1 tag over here. This h1 tag contains the heading, so we will tell that fruit ball. Save it. Now the next step, we need to add this fruit ball component into the app.js. So let's comment this one as we have understand this concept. And now we need to add the fruit ball over here. So we will tell that fruit ball, and the moment you will add it, so it will also add the reference of this fruit ball. Save it. Let's look into the output, what output we are getting for this, and you will see that it has listed all the fruit with their prices, and whatever we have seen in the diagram, it is printing those values. Here you have seen that the space between these things, we will handle this when we will understand the styling of the component, how we will do the styling in React. For a time being, you just ignore it. Now we have understand it. Let's proceed further. So what is next now? So the next step is we will improvise the code, as it is not the standard practice to put the code it like this. So what we will do, we will make it little standard. We will keep the return function very neat. So we will grab this code and we will put it into a variable, and that variable is going to be returned. So just give a name over here, and we are going to create a variable const, and we will tell that list fruit, and this list fruit contains the given code, and over here we will pass the code, and this list fruit we will return it. So come here, and here we need to specify list fruit. Save it. Let's look into the output, and then you will find that there is no change. So now let's proceed further. So let's improvise the code further. If you get more experience with React, then you will find that the list component is being divided into two parts, where UL part exists in one of the component and all these li part exist in other component, and the value of the each individual fruit is being passed as a props. So let's follow the same pattern. What we are going to do, we are going to create another component called fruit.js, and which will contain this information, and that component is being placed over here. So let's do it. So within the same folder, what we are going to do, we are going to create a fruit component. So let's write it fruit.js, and within that we are going to generate a functional component with the help of boilerplate code rfce. So now with this boilerplate code, we will write the li code. So let's grab it. So we will grab this code from here, control X, and we will go to fruit.js, and over here we need to specify the li information. Now save it. Now we will grab this. So once we grab it and we have pasted it over here, so to make it working, we need to specify prop. The props dot fruit name is equal to hyphen. Now we will specify props dot fruit dot price. So here we have a specified prop dot fruit dot name, and then we have a specified props dot fruit dot price. Now let's go to the fruitball.js, and over here we will use the fruit component. So how we will use it, we will tell that fruit enter, so it will add the reference. The moment you will add the reference, so it has entered it. Why? Because we have used a extension called auto input, that the reason it is inserting it. And over here we will pass the fruit. We will tell that fruit equal to fruit, and let's close it, save it. Now let's look into the output. There is no change in the output you will find, and you will see it over here, there is no change. But the code which we have written, that is much cleaner code, and you will find the same pattern in the list component design. So now let's proceed further. So now if you will look into all the code, then you will find that it is much neater whatever we have written, and it is up to the standard of React development. So on this note, I am stopping over here. I hope you enjoyed the session. See you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.